Welcome to Knowledge Hub, where curiosity meets discovery. Dive into a world of fascinating facts, mind-blowing science, and the secrets behind everyday wonders. Get ready to expand your mind and explore topics that spark your imagination. Let's unlock the knowledge together. I remember the nights when the air was thick with tension, the kind that wraps around you like a heavy blanket. My mother, always so strong, would sit by my father's bedside, her hands trembling as she cared for him. But there was something else in the air, something unsettling. The howling of wolves echoed through the fields, a haunting reminder that we weren't alone. She would often glance out the window, her eyes filled with a fear I couldn't understand. Louis and I, we were just kids, caught up in our own worlds. We didn't see the shadows creeping into our home, didn't notice how our mother's laughter faded like the light at dusk. She would warn us, her voice shaky, about the evil spirit that lurked on our farm. We brushed it off, thinking it was just another one of her stories, a way to keep us close. But deep down, I think we all felt it, the weight of something dark pressing down on us. Then came that day, the day everything changed. I can still feel the chill in the air when we found her. The shock hit us like a freight train. How could she leave us? How could she abandon the very life she fought so hard to protect? Morning felt like a fog, thick and suffocating. We were lost, grappling with questions that had no answers. It was during those long, sleepless nights that a nurse shared something that shook me to my core. She told us our mother often spoke to someone unseen. I remember the way my heart raced at the thought. Who was she talking to? What had she seen that we couldn't? It made me reflect on our parents' struggles, the silent battles they fought behind closed doors. As we sifted through our mother's belongings, I stumbled upon her diary. Each page was a window into her soul, revealing fears I never knew she had. She wrote about a drowning soul, a presence that threatened to pull us under. I could feel her desperation in every word, her longing for us to understand the darkness that loomed over our family. Reading her fears, I realized how isolated she must have felt, trapped in a world where her warnings went unheard. It was as if she was reaching out from beyond, trying to tell us something important. I wish I could go back and listen more closely, to see the signs she was so desperately trying to show us. Now, as I sit here, I can't help but wonder if we could have saved her. If we had only taken her fears seriously, would she still be with us? The weight of that question hangs heavy in my heart. I want to believe that she found peace, that she's free from the shadows that haunted her. But the truth is, her absence leaves a void that can never be filled. In the end, it's a reminder that sometimes the battles we fight are invisible. We must learn to listen, to see beyond the surface, and to hold onto those we love before it's too late.
I never thought I'd be standing here, grappling with the reality of what's been happening in our home. It started off as just strange noises, whispers in the night, shadows darting past the corners of our eyes. But then it escalated. I'll never forget the moment when a spider crawled out of our father's mouth. It was as if something inside him had been unleashed, something dark and twisted. I felt my stomach drop, and I knew we were in over our heads. And then there were the visions of our mother. They came to me in dreams at first, her face so vivid, so real. I could almost hear her voice, but it was always just out of reach. I wanted to believe it was her spirit trying to comfort us, but deep down, I felt a chill. It was like she was warning us about something lurking in the shadows. Then there was the neighbor, Mr. Thompson. He claimed to know our mother, said she used to visit him when we were younger. I wanted to trust him, but something felt off. He seemed too eager, too desperate to connect with us. And then just like that, he was attacked by the same spirit that had been haunting us. I watched in horror as he screamed, his voice echoing through the night. It was a stark reminder that we weren't just dealing with a figment of our imagination. This was real, and it was dangerous. As the days passed, the supernatural events grew worse. Our father became more erratic, his eyes glazed over, as if he were being controlled by something beyond our understanding. We had no choice but to send him to the hospital. It was a decision that tore at my heart, but it felt like the only way to protect him and ourselves. In that final confrontation, everything changed. The spirit revealed its true power, mimicking our father's voice, his mannerisms. It was chilling to see how easily it could deceive us. I felt a wave of dread wash over me as I realized it wasn't just trying to scare us. It was trying to take over. It wanted to tear our family apart from the inside out. We stood there frozen as the truth sank in. This wasn't just a haunting. It was a battle for our very souls. I could feel the weight of our family's history pressing down on us, the secrets and regrets that had been buried for too long. We had to fight back to reclaim our home and our lives. But how do you fight something that knows you better than you know yourself? How do you confront a darkness that wears the face of your loved one? I don't know what's next, but I do know this. We can't let it win. We have to stand together, face the fear, and uncover the truth behind the spirit's hold on our family. It's our only chance to break free from this nightmare.
I never thought I'd be standing here, grappling with the truth about my family. It all started with that phone call. A man on the other end, claiming he had never met my mother. He lives abroad, far away from the memories that haunt us. But then my father, his voice shaky, filled with a weight I can't describe, revealed something I never expected. He mentioned a daughter, Lewis. My heart sank. Lewis, who took her life. And then he said something that sent chills down my spine. Her voice resembled mine. I hung up, my hands trembling. What does that even mean? I felt this knot in my stomach, a mix of fear and confusion. I never knew Lewis, but suddenly, I felt this connection, this eerie thread tying us together. It's like I was hearing echoes of a past I never lived, and it made me question everything about my identity. After that, my siblings and I decided to consult a doctor about our father's health. He's been weak, fading in and out of reality. The doctor looked at us with concern, advising against moving him. He needs stability, he said. But what about our stability? We're all falling apart here. The nurse chimed in, her voice soft but firm. She reminded us of our mother's suffering, how love was what our father needed most. It hit me hard. Love. It's what we all crave, yet it feels like we're drowning in this sea of grief and secrets. Then came the visit to the farm. Lewis and Michael thought it would be a good idea to check on things, to see if we could salvage what was left of our family legacy. But what we found was far from salvageable. Dead animals scattered across the fields. At first, we thought it was a wolf, nature's cruel hand. But as we looked closer, something felt off. This wasn't the work of a mere predator. No, this was something supernatural, something dark lurking in the shadows. I can't shake the feeling that whatever took those animals is connected to Lewis, to our father, to the secrets we've buried deep. It's like we're being pulled into a mystery that's been waiting for us to uncover it. I can feel it in my bones. We're on the brink of something monumental. But with every step we take, I wonder, are we ready for the truth? Or will it consume us like it did Lewis?
I can still hear the crackling of the flames, the acrid smell of smoke filling the air. They decided to burn the animals, and I felt this overwhelming wave of emotion wash over me. I couldn't just stand there and watch. There was a pregnant animal, trembling, eyes wide with fear. I had to comfort her. I wrapped my arms around her, feeling her warmth, her life, and in that moment, I made a choice. I chose to stay with my family, to be there for those who couldn't speak for themselves. But that night, everything changed. I heard a voice, soft and familiar, calling out to me. It was a voice I recognized instantly, my mother's voice. But something felt off. As I approached, I realized it was the evil spirit disguised as her. It was trying to lure me in, whispering sweet nothings that twisted into dark promises. Join me, it said, you'll find peace. But I resisted. I fought against the urge to give in, to let despair take over. I couldn't let it win. I thought of the pregnant animal, of my family, and I held on to that love, that hope. Then there was Lewis. That poor kid, he's been through so much. He had a dream that night, a nightmare really, filled with shadows and whispers. When he woke up, he found his father missing. Panic set in, and he searched everywhere. only to discover his dad stuck to the roof. Can you imagine? The confusion, the fear? It's like something out of a horror movie, but this is our reality. I ran away in fear, my heart pounding in my chest. I didn't want to see what was happening, didn't want to face the truth. But leaving Lewis behind? That's what haunts me the most. He was distressed, alone, and I couldn't bear it. I thought I was protecting myself, but in reality, I was abandoning him when he needed me the most. This evil spirit, it thrives on our fear, our despair. It wants to tear us apart, to make us question our sanity, our bonds. I can't let it win. I have to be strong for Lewis, for that pregnant animal, for everyone who's counting on me. I have to confront this darkness, even if it means facing my own fears. Because if I don't, what's left? Just a world consumed by flames and shadows, where love and hope are extinguished. And I refuse to let that happen. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this. It was supposed to be a simple visit to check on Lewis, my neighbor. Just a quick stop to see how he was doing. But when I walked through that door, everything changed. At first, it was just Lewis sitting there, looking frail and lost in his own world. But then I saw her, the granddaughter. She looked just like me. I mean, it was uncanny. Same hair, same eyes, even the same smile. I thought it was a trick of the light, maybe a weird coincidence. But as I got closer, I felt this chill run down my spine. It was like I was staring into a mirror, but the reflection was wrong. I tried to shake it off, thinking maybe I was just tired. But then I noticed something off about her. The way she moved, the way she spoke, it was all too perfect, too rehearsed. It was like she was mimicking me, but not quite getting it right. I felt this creeping dread settle in my stomach. I knew something was wrong. I pulled out my phone to call Michael. I needed him to come over to help me figure this out. But just as I dialed, the nurse appeared out of nowhere. She had this wild look in her eyes, and I could feel the tension in the air. I thought maybe she was here to help, but then she lunged at me. In that moment, everything happened so fast. I tried to dodge her, but it was like she was fueled by something dark, something sinister. I could feel my heart racing, the panic rising. I screamed for help, but it felt like the walls were closing in. And then, just like that, it was over. I couldn't believe it. I was gone. I never thought a simple visit would lead to my end. I thought I was just checking in on a neighbor, but instead, I walked into a nightmare. Now, I'm trapped in this limbo, watching everything unfold. I see Lewis still sitting there, oblivious to the danger. I see the granddaughter wearing my face, living my life, and I can't do anything about it. I'm just a whisper in the wind, a shadow in the corner, and all I can do is hope someone figures it out before it's too late.
I can still hear the echoes of that night, the silence that followed the chaos. It was a stillness that felt unnatural, like the world had paused just to watch my despair unfold. I stumbled into the living room, and there they were, my family lifeless. The weight of their absence crashed over me like a tidal wave. I thought I was dreaming, trapped in a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. In that moment, despair wrapped around me like a shroud. I felt the urge to escape, to end my suffering. I thought about the finality of it all, the relief that might come with a single choice. But then, just as I was about to take that step, I saw them, my family, alive. I blinked, disbelief coursing through me. Was this a miracle? A second chance? But deep down, I felt something was off. It was too good to be true. The warmth of their smiles felt like a cruel joke, a trick played by something sinister lurking in the shadows. I could sense it, a darkness that had woven itself into the fabric of our lives. I wanted to believe it was real, to embrace them, but a chilling realization washed over me. This was the spirit's deception, a cruel illusion designed to lure me into its grasp. And then there was Lewis. She was so innocent, so trusting. I watched as she heard her mother's voice, calling her back, sweet and familiar. My heart raced as I screamed for her to stop, to turn away. But the pull of that voice was too strong, too inviting. I could see the confusion in her eyes, the longing to reconnect with the warmth of family. But that warmth was a facade, a trap laid by the very spirit that had taken us all. When she turned, It was too late. The darkness struck, and just like that, she was gone. I felt the ground beneath me crumble as I realized the truth. Our mother had made a pact, a deal with something far beyond our understanding. It was a choice that sealed our fate, binding us to a destiny we never asked for. One by one, we fell, victims of a curse that had woven itself into our lives long before we understood its implications. I was left standing amidst the ruins of our family, a hollow shell of what once was. The laughter, the love, all extinguished in an instant. Now, I wander through this emptiness, haunted by the choices made in desperation. I see their faces in my dreams, hear their voices calling out, but I know the truth. They're gone, and I'm left with the weight of our mother's pact, a burden I can never escape. The darkness has claimed us all, and I'm left to grapple with the remnants of a shattered family, forever trapped in this cycle of despair. If you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support means the world and helps us create even more amazing content for you.